Hello students. So in the previous video, we have gone through the conduction part, that how conduction is occurring inside the stationary medium. And in this we have gone through the Fourier's law. So we know that is your Fourier's law. So now I will define conductivity, that how you can have the feel of conductivity. Let us understand it. So let us study thermal conductivity. And that is generally represented by kappa. Okay, kappa. So we can say, we know that according to Fourier's law, what we have seen this into A, that is heat transfer is directly proportional to area and that temperature gradient. This is your Fourier's law. This is your Fourier's law. Okay. Now this is your thermal conductivity. We have seen unit also. So what is thermal conductivity? It is numerically equal to thermal conductivity, that we can define it is numerically equal to the heat transfer for unit area, that is 1 meter square, in a slab of thickness 1 meter, in a slab of thickness 1 meter, having temperature difference of 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. Okay. So we have gone in the previous, we were calculated the unit, this is meter square. If for 1 meter square area there and for 1 degree temperature change in 1 meter length, then thermal conductivity K will be nothing but your 1, that is heat transferred, let us take it heat transferred in this per unit length, and this will be degree Celsius. So this is generally taken in watt, and we have seen this. So what actually that K is representing? So physically, if you will try to feel it, physically thermal conductivity is ability of the medium to conduct heat. Let us say how. So if there is a medium, okay, let us, I'm taking that duster again. So if the thermal conductivity of this medium, let us assume that is made up of the solid material, of the metallic solid. Okay. So if the thermal conductivity of this will be high, ability of the medium to conduct heat. So thermal conductivity is defining that how heat is conducted inside the material, inside that solid material. So how we can understand it? Let us understand. So if the conductivity of this duster will be large, then heat transfer, or we can say rate of heat transfer in this solid material will be large. So what we can conclude is, if K is large, that kappa is large, then rate of heat transfer will be large. And what will, if K is small, then they will be, the rate of heat transfer will be small. So heat will go slowly, it will take much time, so rate will be less. But when the thermal conductivity is very high, what will happen? Then heat will transfer so fast that it will take less time to transfer, so rate of heat transfer will be high. So generally thermal conductivity is representing what? That is representing your ability to conduct heat inside the material. Maybe you have understood it like carefully right now. Okay, let us have a comparison, little bit of comparison in thermal conductivity and thermal conductivity and specific heat, so that you can understand thermal conductivity in deep manner. Okay, let us understand. Okay, so let us take an example. I am taking an example of iron and water. Okay, generally used, iron and water. So my dear students, if I will see iron, then it is having thermal conductivity of iron is nothing but 80.6 watt per meter Kelvin, and specific heat of this particular iron is your 6 point specific heat is of iron is 0.608 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, kilojoule per kg Kelvin. And for water, what is specific heat of water? I think everybody knows, 4.18 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. And what is thermal conductivity of water? So thermal conductivity of water, that is kappa K, is generally 0.602 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay, 0.0602 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay, so this is your 0.45. The thermal the specific heat is 0.45 and this is 0.068 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay, now guys, let us understand it carefully. So if I will observe iron, if I will take an iron, what will be there? The conductivity of iron will be high, and that specific heat of iron will be less. So as soon as this will got heat, it will have some heat. That heat will be transferred from this side to this side in iron in a very fast manner. Means the rate of heat transfer will be large. But what is specific heat? Specific heat is your we can define like specific heat is your ability of the medium to absorb heat. Okay, ability of the medium to absorb heat. So as iron is conducting heat very fast, but it is absorbing very less amount of heat, like 0.45 kilojoule for 1 kg iron, and for 1 degree temperature difference of the heat transfer. Okay, so we have seen this thermal conductivity of solids is due to lattice vibrations and free flow of electrons, and we have gone in the deep analysis of this. So for metals, the thermal conductivity was depending on both these. So as the temperature was increasing, as I have discussed, so as the temperature is increasing, what there is an abstraction in the free flow of electrons, due to which the thermal conductivity of metals is decreasing. So let us see for non-metals and insulators. So if we will see non-metals or insulators, we know that there are no free flow of electrons, so free electrons are not available there. So what will happen? The all thermal conductivity will be due to lattice vibrations only. So K insulators will be equal to conductivity due to K lattice vibrations. So as I will, K is only due to lattice vibrations, and hence thermal conductivity of non-metals and insulators increases with increase in temperature. So because there is no obstruction, so as I will increase temperature, thermal conductivity of insulators or non-metals will decrease. Sorry, will increase. Okay, students. Okay. Now we can also see this. The thermal conductivity at any temperature is given by Kt is equal to K naught into 1 plus beta T, where beta is your coefficient which depends on the material, beta T. Okay, so in case of non-metals, that beta will be negative. So when beta will be negative, this value will become what? This will decrease. Okay, so in case of metals the beta is positive, so beta value will be positive, then this KT, the thermal conductivity for metals, will increase as beta is positive for them. Okay, so this is like we have seen thermal conductivity of metals, thermal conductivity of non-metals and insulators. Okay, now let us have a little comparison of electrical conductors and thermal conductors. Let us see. So if I will talk about thermal conductors, so it may so happen that the material which is good conductor of electricity can be a good conductor of heat. We can say have a easy flow of heat inside this. So my dear students, so good conductors of heat, good conductors of heat like metals can be good conductors of electricity, good conductor of electricity. But there are some materials which are not like this. Okay, so if I will talk about your diamond, which is having the highly organized crystal structure, if I will talk about diamond, it is having highest thermal conductivity. Why? Due to its organized crystal structure. Okay, but it is a bad conductor of what? Electricity. Okay, so as for good conductors of electricity, they are free flow of electrons. Electrons are easily available, so heat will be conducted easily. Okay, so if any material is bad conductor of electricity, means it will be having like minimum number of electrons. So similarly there will be less electrons available for your heat transfer in free flow of electrons. So there will be only heat transfer by latest vibrations. Okay, so it is not generally which is the good conductor of electricity is maybe not be possible that it will be good conductor of heat. So let us see thermal conductivity variation, like how thermal conductivity is varying. Let us see, like for diamond, if I will see diamond, the thermal conductivity is 2300 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay, 2300 watt per meter Kelvin. Then there will be your silver having thermal conductivity of 429 watt per meter Kelvin. Then there will be copper having thermal conductivity of 401 watt per meter Kelvin. Then there will be, after copper, there will be your gold, which is having thermal conductivity. So gold will be having your thermal conductivity of 317, that is 317 watt per meter Kelvin. And there will be then aluminium, it will be having thermal conductivity of 217 watt per meter Kelvin. And then let us see for refractory brick. The thermal conductivity of this is generally 1.5 watt per meter Kelvin. And similarly, if you have seen for water, so what is thermal conductivity of water? So in this manner, the thermal conductivity is decreasing in this direction. Okay, so for water, the thermal conductivity is, for water, your thermal conductivity is, you may have seen 0.608 watt per meter Kelvin. And for air, because we generally have two substances which are very in use for air, the thermal conductivity is 0.026 watt per meter Kelvin. So we can see as the thermal conductivity is decreasing, so it is just signifying, or it is just telling us that the heat transfer rate, the rate of heat transfer is decreasing according to this thermal conductivity. Because what is thermal conductivity? That how fast heat is flowing into the material. So the diamond will have like highly organized structure, structure due to which its thermal conductivity is high. Okay. So guys, this is up to it in this chapter.